calm wind blew around the base of the Black Bulls, the squad that had once been so bad, people didn't even acknowledge them. But since a certain boy entered the squad, things changed for the better. Every single person in the squad improved their magic power, reached and surpassed their limits multiple times. He was the one that gave them the strength to fight, to show the world what their magic could do. He was the reason that they became strong, the reason they fought every day, even though he was so different from everyone. He was unique, one of a kind in so many ways. His name was Asta, an orphan from Hog's village, which was literally at the end of the kingdom. A mannerless, magicless boy, with no special abilities. Well, that's what a few people would say, but in their eyes, he was the strongest person in the whole kingdom. Due to the fact that he couldn't use magic, Asta trained his body every day. As soon as the sun rose above the horizon, he was out in the forest training, and he would be back when the sun goes down. He wasn't ordinary, oh no, he was so much more. The moment he received his grimoire, it changed. He changed. Asta was the only person with anti-magic, a different form of magic. With his swords he could cut through magic like it was butter. When he found out that there was a demon living in his grimoire, he convinced the demon to share his powers. In return, Asta would let him live in his body, allowing him to live with better conditions. It took a while, but now Asta was able to control his power, and his power attracted a certain silver-haired girl. She was never good at magic or cast out of her family. Noelle Silva was the only member of a royal family that couldn't control her magic. A friend once told her that it was because she didn't want to hurt people, and she concluded it was true. However, with a magic wand she became better, and in time they both grew closer to each other, to the point where they started dating. Noelle was still nervous telling her siblings about it. She knew what their reaction would be. They would be more ashamed. A member of the royal family and a commoner who was even an orphan? What a shame she would be. But she swore herself one day she would have the courage to tell them. Asta was fine with it. He knew her fear towards her siblings, but insisted that if they wanted to know if there was someone in her life, she had to tell the truth. Noelle agreed. It's not like they were going to marry each other. At one point, Noelle stopped to think about it. They already hated her, so what did she care? At least she thought so, until the day she received the letter. When the sun set over the horizon, took above the moon place in the high of the sky, Asta was already out in the woods, leaving Noelle alone in bed. They hadn't made it a habit sleeping together. Why not? They were a couple, after all. Had even received the approval of their captain. Not like they had asked, but he did it anyway. Why not? The young Silva stood up, changing into her usual attire of the day, the robe of the black bull around her shoulder. She stretched her arms as she left the room. The last few days had been calm. No missions and no attacks. Just a soothing days with her boyfriend. Just a normal Monday morning. In the beginning, Noelle never would have thought that she would get over her fake pride and be with a commoner, after she had been teasing him so many times. As she made her way to the downstairs, she could already smell breakfast Charmy had made. It was the best food she could ever get, even better than the food he cooked in the palace every day. Grabbing a plate and some food, she sat down with the others. Everyone did their usual stuff. Luck and Magna were fighting over pudding again. Jacques was looking in a picture of his sister. Gray said nothing while Charmy ate everything in sight. Finral bragging about some date he had, Gordon mumbling something, and Vanessa was already drunk, and Asta was out in the woods. A perfectly normal morning. A letter was slammed down in front of her with the Silva imprint on it. She sighed. until now. Without much thought, she opened it, probably from Noah's, informing her that the royal banquet that was coming up. Boring stuff as always. She honestly hated those events. No one talked with her but Manessa. As always, she felt out of place, but she had to go. What she read, though, was not what she had expected. She read it over and over again. This couldn't be right. Someone had made a mistake. This had to be a mistake. But no, she read right. Screeching, Noelle let the letter fall to the ground. The others looked with her in surprise. Vanessa picked up the letter, glancing at Noelle for permission, who just gave a short nod, reading through the royal letter. Vanessa just as surprised as the young princess. "Oh dear," she said, holding to her cheek. "What is it?" "Well, seems like her dear siblings would want to meet our little princess for her siblings' talk, and she's supposed to bring her boyfriend," Vanessa answered. "What?" Venero asked, glancing over the letter. He'd read it thoroughly and carefully. "Dear Noelle, I hope you are well, sister. It has been such time since I have heard of you, and would like you and our siblings have a dinner. I'm sure there are many things we had to tell each other. We haven't talked in a long time now. Don't worry, I have told Nimbra and Solid to behave. I am aware that they are still angered by the events of the royal nights. It was just to be a family dinner. I have recently been informed that you have found a partner. Please, bring him along. He would be a family at some point after all. The dinner will be at Sunday, 7 p.m. Sincerely, Nozzle Silva. How does he even know about Asta? I haven't even told anyone outside of the squad, Noelle squeaked. Wasn't wasn't there a meeting in the captain's recently? Charmy munched on her food. The young Silva looked over to the captain, who just shrugged. He asked, he said, almost screaming. Yes, she had made up with Niles, but her other siblings would be furious. They were still mad at her, just like the letter stated. Just go, Noelle. You'll get it off your chest. What's the worst that could happen? Vanessa tried to cheer the young girl up. You're right, but until then, I have to teach Asta the right manners. I love him, but he's not the best at the table. The others agreed. You're right. And the evening came, along with Asta. Noel was pacing in the main room when he entered the hideout. Alarm bells went off the second he saw his girlfriend. He rushed over to her. Noel, what's wrong? He asked. The young Silva looked at him. She opened her eyes to say something but closed it again. Instead, handing him the letter. The ash-blonde teen read through it, and when he was done, he understood her worries. But this is great! We'll tell them and then they'll finally live in peace. But what if they're mad at? What if they throw me out? She panicked. Asta grabbed her shoulders. They won't. They'll have to live with it, and if they are mad and throw you out, then screw them. They couldn't hate you and be happy for you, like siblings should, he grinned. Noah smiled. How right he was. Just like always. But still, she smirked. I've got to teach you table manners until Sunday. It had been a long week, but it was worth it. Noelle taught Asta everything she knew, from holding a chair back for a woman he dated to use the right fork. To her great surprise, Asta was able to remember everything within the short time they had. He really tried with effort, just to make sure his girlfriend wouldn't be embarrassed. And after forcing him at his ridiculously large muscles into a tux, She went to change herself. When she came out again, she was wearing a silver blue dress. It was sleeveless and hugged her body perfectly. It became silver and turned into a light blue at the end. Her shoes could barely be seen, but the height of the heels helped. A small blue purse that was hanging on her shoulder. For once, she had her hair open. It was long enough to reach her breast. Something Asta didn't even know before. She was always trying it up. Asta knew he was in love with her, but this hit a new level. To him, she looked like an angel, and that just came from the heaven. He almost fainted, lost for words. He mumbled with the package in his hand. Uh, uh, Vanessa said that you're supposed to get the date something nice when going out. I didn't know if this counted, but I never did that before, so... He blushed, holding out a small package. Noelle smiled. He couldn't be a real sweetheart. She took it carefully, opened it. Inside was a silver necklace with sapphires in the middle, fitting earrings on the side. Oh my gosh, Asta! They're perfect! She set the box on the table and took out the earring. Taking out her other pink earrings, she replaced them with the sapphire stones. She handed the necklace to Asta, who looked at her confused. She giggled, holding her hair back. Well, aren't you gonna help me? She teased. Getting the hint, the Ashblan boy placed the necklace around her neck. Going down the stairs, they met the others. Finro was waiting at the transport them. The others were just curious. Vanessa gasped. Wow, Noelle, you really got him into something nice, she chuckled. Wasn't that hard, she giggled. Well, ready to go? Finro asked. The couple nodded. The brunette opened a portal, sending both of them straight to the Silva house. Asta gulped, as he had never felt so anxious. Relax. It will be fine, just like you said. But do me a favor, and don't get angry, she begged. Why? Asta leaned his head to the side. Noelle sighed. Remember what happened last time you got too angry? You lost control of your literal inner demon, she hissed. Oh, that, he chuckled. Without a second thought, Noelle knocked on the large door. Isn't this your home too? Knocking seems a bit weird, Asta said. Yeah, but we have here as guests, and it's always polite to knock. Just entering the house would be very rude, Noelle advised. Asta hummed. Rich people are strange. A maid opened the door. Ah, Mistress Noelle, you come. Master Noelle will be delighted. Please follow me. She turned around and went ahead. The couple followed. When they reached the dining room, only Narborough and Solid seemed surprised to see Asta. Sitting down after Asta did what Noelle had told him to do, pulling out chairback, the maids brought the first dish. While Noelle tried to avoid eye contact with her siblings, Asta was showing a glance that told them to dare and hurt her. He was behaving for now, but that could change quickly. Finally, Solid spoke up. Am I the only one that noticed Noelle brought a commoner? He hissed. No, brother, I've noticed too. But what do you expect from her? At least she taught him manners. Nabra scoffed. Asta grabbed the underside of the table with one hand, trying to keep calm. Just 5 minutes and he was close to losing his cool. Enough, both of you. We are here to have dinner and not yell at each other. I asked you to behave, Noelle warned. Noelle had to suppress a smirk, since when did her brother defend her? That was entirely new. And he hadn't even been surprised at all when she came from with Asta. Did he know this too? How much did Captain Yami tell him? How come you be okay with this, brother? Our sister is a commoner, Nabra hissed. Nozzle raised an eyebrow. Oh, you conceived sister. Since when do you do that? Me? Concerned? That mother killer could do what she wants. I don't want the family name to be ruined. Noelle bit her lip. Why did they have to bring this up all the time? It wasn't even her fault. Her mother died after her birth, yes, but it wasn't her fault, right? She was sure that she was about to cry. Asta slammed his fist on the table, forcing him to use the far beyond what he could do, but it was enough to catch attention. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Blaming your own sister for something she couldn't control. If it was one of you would that were to blame for that, be grateful you were able to spend time with her. Not all of us are lucky enough to even have parents, he growled. I don't think I understand what you mean. Everyone has parents, Najwa said calmly in the eyes. Asta was right. His siblings should stop treating Noelle like that. But he knew no matter how many times he told them to stop, they would do it again and again. Asta is an orphan, Noelle said. She knew that very well. Asta would say something he might regret if he didn't interfere. An orphan? Who would thought that there were people even more useless than Noelle? Solid snickered. Asta's eyes flashed red for a moment. Noelle looked very concerned. Brother, you should never underestimate people, Noelle warned. He had seen what Asta could do, and it was rather amazing, and a little overwhelming when seeing it for the first time. Niles is right. When Asta gets angry, he can't control it anymore. He gets very angry when he sees me sad, Noelle warned. It? What do you mean, it? Nobro asked, surprised. Asta smiled, leaning back in his seat a bit. I'm not just any orphan. I don't have magic. Not normal, at least. My magic makes every other magic ineffective. The it Noelle mentioned is the person that gives me this power, he explained. The siblings looked surprised. Nabro and Solid exchanged a look. Nozzle just sat there unfazed by the teen's outburst. I have to admit that I am curious. Who is this person you are talking about? Nawaz asked. Even though he had already seen it, he didn't know that it gave the teen the power to cut through magic like butter. This strong form he had when he used much of it. Asta's eyes flashed red once more, this time a bit longer, long enough for the Siemens to notice it. Eyes wildly slanty. A demon! It seemed on its own when I get angry, but I can control it and force it out if I want to. I don't do it much. It's tiring, he explained. If you really have the ability to claim to have, then you wouldn't have a problem to show us, right? Solid smirk. He was so sure the others were lying that he could already challenge the others. Asta looked at the clock on the wall. 10:12 p.m. They really talked this long? Didn't seem like it, but it was late enough to return home. Sure, we have to get home now anyway. It's late. I'll show you outside. He smiled. Standing up, he took Noelle's hand and led her outside, not waiting for the others to follow. Outside it was dark. Owl sounds could be heard in the night. Holding out his hands, his grimoire appeared in front of him. Noelle looked at him surprised. Since when could he do that? A large broadsword came out. He held it in both hands, closing his eyes and focused the energy. Taking a deep breath, He opened his eyes once again, only for his eyes to turn red. A black wing sprouted from his back. Black markings appear on his right side of his body. The Silva siblings looked at the teen in shock. Asta smiled. Get on, he told Noel, and the youngest Silva sibling hopped on his back. Well, now that this is out of the way, we'll be going. Be careful when you decide to insult Noel next time. When I'm around, thanks for the food, he grinned, showing his fang. Pressing himself to the ground, he took off, the wings helping him fly back to his own base. Noel couldn't help but laugh along with her boyfriend. He had been right all along. Bringing him to meet his siblings probably was the best idea Nazrul ever had.